Hello, this is Will here, and today he will be reviewing the Premier League, football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, Champions League and FA Cup happening recently since April the 7th. Before we start, I recommend downloading the Premier League app if you follow a Premier League soccer club. This will give you updates and notifications about your club. And let's get started in this video. The first match that happened on April the 7th was a shock defeat to the Gunners Arsenal football team. 10 minutes in, Everton go 1-0 up at Goodison Park, which was a shock result for most. I would not have guessed Everton to win that. Second game, Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace have been not performing very well, so it was another surprise to see them go 1-0 up Crystal Palace full time. Huddersfield Town FC versus Leicester City, Sunday, 7th of April. Huddersfield are in the relegation zone and will get relegated to the Championship this season. So, it was no surprise to see that they went 1-4 down. Jamie Vardy made your goal scorer, who scored 2 goals, scoring a penalty. 2 penalties, I think. Bournemouth FC versus Burnley. Own goal by Bournemouth was the only way they managed to score on the day. Chris Wood, Ashley Westwood and Jeff Hendrick for Burnley scored. Ashley Barnes' own goal for Burnley for Bournemouth. Tuesday the 9th of April in the Premier League, Chelsea at the Stratford Bridge played the Hammers, West Ham United. Eden Hazard scores in the 24th and 90th minute for the Blues to put them 2-1 up. Saturday the 13th of April, Spurs decide to flog Huddersfield 4-0 at Wembley, and Leicester get defeated at home to 1-0 to Newcastle. Sunday the 14th of April, Bournemouth versus Brighton. Bournemouth defeat Brighton a massive 5-0 and a yellow card for Brighton as well. Long list of goals there for Brighton. 2-0 Burnley versus Cardiff. Burnley win 2-0. Fulham versus Everton. Everton, as we heard, defeated the Gunners 1-0, so it was pretty surprising to see Fulham win 2-0. Southampton versus Wolves. I am a Southampton supporter and a Man United supporter. Southampton won 3-1. As Wolves' woe of defeating lower teams continue. Man United versus West Ham. Paul Pogba with penalties in the 19th and 80th minute scored their 2 goals for Man United. And last but not least, Crystal Palace versus Man City. The title winners, hopefully not for Manchester City. They win 3-0. Liverpool versus Chelsea. What a game. My teacher Max was in England watching this game. He would have been happy. Mane scores in the 51 minute, and 2 minutes later Salah scores again. Assists went to Henderson over with Mane and Van Dijk with Salah for Chelsea, against Chelsea. And today the Gunners come back from few defeats and win 1-0 over Watford. That's the Premier League for you. Now we're moving on to the FA Cup. Watford beat Wolves 3-2 in the semi-finals at Wembley. Watford were 2-0 down at one stage before making 2 goals in normal time. Going into extra time, and booting another goal through to please the Watford fans that were there. Upset the Wolverhampton fans. Brighton versus Manchester City. It'll be a Watford versus City final sometime in May over in England at Wembley. Manchester City with Gabriel Jesus, I think that's how I pronounce it. Sorry if I'm wrong. He headed City through 1-0. We go over Brighton. We move over to the Champions League now. The first leg was played sometime last week in Australian time. Barcelona over Manchester United, as own goal by Luke Shaw, who will be suspended for the second leg, got Barcelona a 1-0 head start at an away game. They will host Manchester United, tomorrow at 5 o'clock Australian time. You can watch that on Manchester United TV. Tottenham versus Manchester, first leg at Wembley. Son scores, and controversial decision whether it was out or not, the ball, when Son scored the goal to put Tottenham a 1-0 advantage over the Manchester City. Liverpool versus Porto. Liverpool 2-0 advantage over Porto, who are apparently not very good. That was at Anfield. Ajax versus Juventus, if you don't know. Ronaldo scores for Juventus, making a 1-1 draw in the second leg. Juve will host Ajax in the second leg sometime this week. That is it for the Champions League. That is the latest on English football and other football. Join in maybe today or tomorrow for my AFL Round 4 footy tip. Go back and watch that cute cats video if you haven't already watched it. It is quite cute. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. I want to put a heading on this title of Premier League Match Day. It's a little late in the 18-19 Premier League season, but if you can, send in some ideas on comments or something. Some ideas for maybe what I could do for a title page when I do these Premier League videos. That is all from me. I recommend downloading the English Premier League app, which is a soccer app which gives you updates on English soccer. You can make a fantasy side in English soccer if you follow it. It can give you updates on a Premier League team if you follow one. And it can just give you updates on the Premier League in general. Download the Premier League app.